Welcome to Cooking with Critters. It's cooking made easy.
Welcome back. Today I'm going to go over how to cut up a whole chicken so that you can make pieces. And what I've done is taken the chicken out of its package, and I've already rinsed it in cold water in the sink. And you want to rinse your chicken inside as well as outside. Remove any giblets, anything that's inside the cavity of the chicken. What I do with that is I make stock with it. So I put it aside. If I'm not going to make stock that day, then I freeze it. So after you've rinsed and dried your chicken, one of the first things you want to do is, there's always this big chunk of fat right here, and I just pull that right off and get rid of that. So I usually begin by removing the legs. So lay the chicken so it's on its back. That's the back of the chicken. This is where the head was, and this is the butt. Tail right here. So we're going to just take the skin between the breast and the leg and just cut through that, like so. And then I'll just take the leg, and you can actually feel the joint. It's right down here where the leg attaches to the body, and you want to just take that and break it backwards, like so. You can actually see that's the end bone of the leg. And then I'm gonna just slice carefully right through here, through the meat, and then the skin. So this is the chicken leg. The chicken leg, we've got the drumstick right here, and then this is the thigh. We will separate that later. Right now I'm going to remove the other leg. Okay, so we've already removed both of the legs from our chicken, and we're going to remove the wing now. So you can see that I've got my hands way up on the body. The wing is a little harder. You've got to try to feel that joint, so just cut through the skin and some of the meat here. And then you should be able to feel that joint. Finishing through the skin there. There we go. And I'm bending this arm back to help me, and I can feel it down in there. So this is a little deeper into the chicken. So you see I got that, and it popped right out, and then you just cut the rest of it off. So after we have the legs and the wings removed from the chicken carcass, the next step is to get the breast off of there. So again, this is the breast of the bird. This is the back. You can feel the backbone all the way down there. So lifting it up from here, we want to go ahead and cut through this skin. Oops, I made a little slice in the breast meat. You want to try not to do that. There's a small amount of very, very thin muscle here that you're going to be cutting through. Okay, and I'll do the same on the other side. Again, trying not to get through the breast meat. I think I'll go this direction. That'll save the breast meat a little more. Keep your hands out of the way. And then you can feel that there's ribs here. To get through those ribs, I'm going to use a pair of poultry shears. These are very handy to have for things like this. And these will just cut right through the ribs, following along. You see the line of that breast meat, the good breast meat that we want to keep. So just cut right through those ribs. You can do that with a knife, but it is a lot harder. The poultry shears make it much easier. And then we're going to come out. You can feel that breast meat right there still. And then we want to clear it through the neck. I've got my thumb through the neck hole there. And there's one big bone in there that I cut through. That bone is the the collarbone of the chicken. Okay, so we've got one half of the breast removed. We're going to do the same thing over here, following along the line of that nice breast meat. And then going through that big collarbone. And there we've got our chicken breast. The back, I set aside. Most of the people in my family don't like to eat the back. I use this for making chicken stock. Okay, so once you have your chicken breast out, there's a couple different things you can do. You can just split it, and I will usually do that with like a cleaver. You can do it with a regular knife. You can also cut through it with poultry shears, or you can just cut the meat off of the bone. That's another option. And if you do that, you want to be sure to try to get as much of that meat as you can. So the breastbone you can feel sticking up high, and you're going to want to carve along that to get as much of the meat as possible. And there we are with, there we are with one of the meat from one side of the chicken breast all ready to go. And you do the same for the other side. When you've done that, you've got your chicken almost completely cut up. The last stage is going to be to remove the thigh from the drumstick. So to do that, you're going to cut this at kind of an angle. And what you can do is you can move this to kind of feel where that joint is at, because you're going to be cutting through that joint. And be careful not to cut yourself. That's really important. But I just went right through that joint, and I've cut through it. So we've got a nice drumstick, and then we've got our chicken thigh right here. And that's how you cut chicken into pieces for cooking.